Let me ask you a simple question. How many of you have noticed that your eyesight isn't quite what it used to be? The truth is, for seniors, declining vision is not just getting older. It's biology, it's metabolism, it's the food we eat and the food we don't. You've been told that blurry eyes, cataracts, or even macular degeneration are inevitable. I'm here to tell you that's not true. In fact, there is a simple fruit, something you can find in your grocery store, that when eaten before bed can actually help repair your eyes while you sleep. This isn't magic, it's science. And tonight I'm going to show you how one piece of fruit can work with your body's natural nighttime repair process to restore vision, reduce oxidative stress, and keep you from losing the gift of sight. When you close your eyes at night, you might think your body is shutting down, but in reality, that's when some of the most important work of your biology is happening. Sleep isn't just about rest, it's about repair. And nowhere is this more critical than in your eyes. Every single day, your retina, the thin layer of tissue at the back of your eye, absorbs light, processes images, and sends those signals to your brain. In the process, it's bombarded by free radicals, oxidative stress, and metabolic waste. Think of it like the exhaust pipe of your car. The harder it works, the more residue it collects. If that residue isn't cleaned up, the engine chokes. Your eyes are no different. Now, here's the part that most people don't realize. The cleanup crew only comes out at night. During sleep, the body activates what's called the glymphatic system, the brain and eye's own sanitation service. Toxins, damaged proteins, and oxidized molecules are swept away while you're off in dreamland. This is not optional, it's survival. Without this nightly detox, your neurons would literally drown in their own waste. That's why when you shortchange sleep, your vision often looks blurry, your eyes feel gritty, and you're more sensitive to light the next day. The system didn't get its chance to do its job. But there's another piece to this story. Repair is not just about removing the trash. It's also about rebuilding what's broken. Your eyes rely on specialized cells called photoreceptors, particularly rods and cones, which are constantly being worn down by light exposure and metabolic stress. At night, those photoreceptors regenerate their outer segments. They literally rebuild the very parts that absorb light so you can wake up and see clearly the next morning. This is one of the most metabolically expensive processes in your entire body. It requires fuel, antioxidants, and a tightly orchestrated sequence of chemical reactions. Here's where food comes in. Imagine you're trying to repair a house after a storm. The cleanup crew is ready, the tools are set. But if the delivery truck never brings the lumber, the repair doesn't happen. The same goes for your eyes. If you're not providing the right nutrients before bed, your eyes don't have the raw materials they need for repair. That's why timing matters. Eating the right fruit at night means those antioxidants and vitamins are circulating in your bloodstream exactly when your eyes are doing their heavy lifting. You're essentially giving the repair team all the supplies they need, right on schedule. Let's talk biology. Oxidative stress is one of the primary drivers of age-related macular degeneration, cataracts, and even glaucoma. Reactive oxygen species, those little chemical sparks that form when cells use oxygen for energy, are particularly high in the retina. Why? Because the retina is one of the most energy-hungry tissues in your entire body. Per ounce, it consumes more oxygen than your brain, more than your muscles, even more than your heart. That makes it ground zero for oxidative damage. Antioxidants like vitamin C, vitamin E, lutein, and zeaxanthin are your firefighters. They neutralize the sparks before they ignite a fire. But here's the trick. Those antioxidants don't hang around in your bloodstream forever. They rise and fall depending on what you eat and when you eat it. If you want them present when the repair crew shows up, you've got to time it right. There's another layer too. During sleep, your melatonin levels rise. Most people think melatonin is just a sleep hormone, but it's also one of the most potent antioxidants in the human body. Melatonin works in tandem with dietary antioxidants, enhancing their effects and creating a kind of antioxidant network. Together, they reduce oxidative stress in the retina more effectively than either could alone. So when you consume a nutrient-rich fruit before bed, you're stacking the deck. Your body's natural nighttime chemistry is already primed for repair, and now you're adding external reinforcements. Let me put this into perspective. Imagine two seniors, both 70 years old. One eats a typical dinner heavy in processed foods, maybe a late-night cookie or a scoop of ice cream, and then goes to bed. The other makes a small but strategic choice. They eat a fruit rich in anthocyanins and carotenoids right before turning in. Both sleep the same number of hours. But when morning comes, one has fueled their eyes with the exact nutrients needed for photoreceptor regeneration, while the other has left their system running on empty. Over time, those small differences add up. One person maintains sharper vision into their 80s, while the other begins to struggle with night blindness, blurriness, or worse, the early signs of macular degeneration. That's not luck. That's biochemistry in action. What I want you to take away is this: nighttime is not wasted time for your body. It is a critical window of opportunity. And if you're a senior, you cannot afford to miss it. Your eyes are already under more oxidative stress than they were at 40. Your repair systems are working harder, and your nutrient absorption is often weaker. The good news is that by aligning what you eat with when your body repairs, you can shift the balance in your favor. It's not about supplements in a bottle or the latest eye drop on the market. It's about harnessing your body's built-in repair cycle and giving it the tools it needs to succeed. So when I tell you to eat a specific fruit before bed, understand that I'm not suggesting a gimmick. I'm pointing you toward a strategy that syncs your biology with your behavior. It's about respecting the natural rhythms of your body and leveraging them for better health. Because in the end, eyesight is not just about seeing the world. It's about maintaining independence, confidence, and quality of life. And that, I think you'll agree, is worth making a little room for fruit before bedtime. When we talk about food as medicine, most people think of supplements in bottles, powders on shelves, or pills lined up on the bathroom counter. But the truth is, nature has already done the work for us. Some of the most powerful compounds for protecting and repairing your eyes are found right inside fruits, whole, unprocessed, nutrient-dense fruits. And the beauty of this is that they don't just bring one vitamin or one antioxidant to the table. They bring an entire orchestra of nutrients that work together in ways science is only beginning to understand. Let's start with the basics. Your eyes are constantly exposed to light, which creates oxidative stress in the retina. Over time, this stress damages the macula, the part of your eye responsible for sharp central vision, and increases your risk for conditions like macular degeneration, cataracts, and glaucoma. To counter this, your body relies on antioxidants. Fruits, particularly those rich in pigments like anthocyanins, carotenoids, and flavonoids, are antioxidant powerhouses. They don't just quench free radicals, they also enhance blood flow to the retina, reduce inflammation, and stabilize fragile capillaries in the eye. Take carotenoids, for instance. Two of the most important for your vision are lutein and zeaxanthin. These compounds accumulate in the macula itself, where they act like internal sunglasses, filtering out harmful blue light and protecting delicate photoreceptor cells from damage. Studies show that seniors with higher levels of these carotenoids in their diet maintain sharper vision and have significantly lower risk of macular degeneration. And here's the kicker: the body doesn't produce lutein or zeaxanthin on its own. You must get them from food. Fruits like papaya, kiwi, and especially orange-colored varieties are prime sources. Then there are anthocyanins, the deep red, blue, and purple pigments found in berries, cherries, and grapes. These aren't just pretty colors, they're molecular guardians. Anthocyanins strengthen collagen in the eye, improve circulation in the tiny vessels of the retina, and enhance night vision by regenerating rhodopsin, the pigment in your rods that allows you to see in low light. In other words, these fruits literally help your eyes adapt to darkness, a function that tends to decline with age. If you've noticed it's harder to drive at night or read in dim light, anthocyanins are the nutrients your eyes are begging for. And we can't forget vitamin C. While most people think of vitamin C for colds or immune support, your eyes need it just as much. The lens of your eye contains some of the highest concentrations of vitamin C in the body. Why? Because vitamin C helps prevent oxidative damage that leads to cataracts. Fruits like oranges, strawberries, guava, and kiwi are vitamin C powerhouses. When consumed before bed, they bathe your bloodstream in antioxidants right when your eyes are going through their nightly repair cycle. But here's where the conversation gets even more interesting. Fruits are not just nutrient delivery systems. They are nutrient ecosystems. That's the part supplements miss. A blueberry doesn't just contain anthocyanins. It contains quercetin, resveratrol, vitamin C, soluble fiber, and dozens of other bioactive compounds. These compounds interact with each other in what scientists call synergy. For example, vitamin C regenerates vitamin E after it neutralizes a free radical, so you get extended antioxidant protection. Polyphenols from fruit can enhance the absorption of carotenoids, ensuring they actually make it to the macula instead of being lost in digestion. You can't bottle that complexity. You can only eat it. Let me put this in context. Imagine your eyes as a fortress under attack. Free radicals are the invaders. One nutrient is like one soldier on the wall, helpful but easily overwhelmed. But a whole fruit is like an army. Archers, infantry, cavalry, and supply lines all working together. That's the power of nutrient-dense fruit. It's not about one vitamin, it's about the network. Now, seniors often ask me, why can't I just take a multivitamin? The answer is simple: bioavailability and balance. Multivitamins contain isolated compounds, often in synthetic forms, at doses your body isn't naturally accustomed to. Fruits deliver these compounds in their natural ratios, packaged with fiber and water, which slow absorption and improve utilization. Your body knows what to do with a blueberry. It doesn't always know what to do with a capsule full of synthetic lutein. And then there's fiber. You may not think of fiber as connected to your eyes, but it absolutely is. Fiber feeds the good bacteria in your gut, which produce short-chain fatty acids that reduce systemic inflammation. And systemic inflammation is a major contributor to eye diseases. In other words, eating fruit before bed doesn't just deliver antioxidants directly, it also improves the terrain your body is working in. That's a 2-for-1 benefit no pill can replicate. Here's the practical takeaway. Not all fruits are created equal. Bananas and apples are fine, but they're not the eye-protecting powerhouses that berries, citrus, kiwi, and papaya are. The fruits richest in pigments, those bright, bold colors, are the ones that do the heavy lifting for your vision. And timing matters. Eat them before bed, and you synchronize their nutrients with your body's natural repair cycle. It's like sending reinforcements to the front lines exactly when the battle is happening. I'll leave you with a simple image. Picture two seniors, both sitting down for their evening snack. One chooses a cookie, the other chooses a bowl of blueberries. Fast forward 10 years. One is struggling with cloudy vision, glasses getting thicker every year, maybe even losing independence. The other is still reading, still driving, still seeing the faces of their grandchildren clearly. That difference isn't fate. It's choice. It's the choice to fuel your eyes with nutrient-dense fruit, the right fruit at the right time. Because in the end, your eyes are not just windows to the soul, they're windows to your future. And every piece of fruit you eat before bed is like polishing that window, keeping it clear for the years ahead. Aging is inevitable, but how we age, that's not written in stone. One of the most misunderstood ideas in medicine is that decline in vision is simply a natural consequence of getting older. We're told to accept it. Your arms aren't long enough to hold the newspaper. Your glasses prescription gets stronger every year, and driving at night feels like threading a needle in the dark. But let's be clear, these aren't just age issues. These are metabolic issues. They are biochemical processes gone awry, and seniors are the most vulnerable because the deck is stacked against them biologically. Think about your eyes like a high-performance machine. They take in light, convert it into electrical signals, and send it to your brain at lightning speed all day, every day, without pause. That kind of workload demands a lot of fuel, and it generates a lot of waste. When you're young, your body is efficient at cleaning up that waste and repairing the wear and tear. But as you age, three things happen simultaneously. Your ability to generate cellular energy declines, your antioxidant defenses weaken, and your repair systems slow down. That combination is what makes seniors more susceptible to vision decline. The mitochondria, those tiny power plants inside your cells, play a central role in this story. Your retina is one of the most energy-demanding tissues in the human body, burning through oxygen at a staggering rate. That means it produces more free radicals per square inch than almost any other organ. When your mitochondria are young and resilient, they can keep up, but mitochondrial function deteriorates with age. By the time you're in your 60s or 70s, your mitochondria aren't as efficient at producing energy, and they leak more free radicals in the process. That's like a car engine that not only runs poorly, but also spews more exhaust. For your eyes, that means more oxidative damage to photoreceptor cells and the supporting tissues that keep your vision sharp. Now layer onto that the decline in your body's natural antioxidant defenses. Enzymes like superoxide dismutase and glutathione peroxidase are your internal cleanup crew. They neutralize free radicals before those radicals can cause damage. But production of these enzymes drops with age, leaving your cells exposed. Combine weaker mitochondria with fewer defenses, and you've got a recipe for accelerated retinal damage. That's why conditions like macular degeneration and cataracts disproportionately affect seniors. Inflammation is the next piece of the puzzle. Low-grade chronic inflammation, sometimes called inflammaging, is practically universal in older adults. Decades of exposure to processed food, environmental toxins, and stress prime your immune system to stay on constant alert. In the eye, that chronic inflammation disrupts the delicate balance needed to keep tissues healthy. It thickens blood vessels, reduces circulation, and triggers scarring in the retina. Seniors already operate at a higher baseline of inflammation, which is why their risk for vision problems skyrockets compared to younger people. Nutrition absorption is another silent culprit. Even if seniors eat the right foods, their digestive systems often don't extract the same levels of nutrients they did decades earlier. Stomach acid production declines, pancreatic enzyme output weakens, and gut microbiome diversity drops. The result? Less absorption of key eye protective nutrients like vitamin A, vitamin C, zinc, lutein, and zeaxanthin. That means seniors are hit with a double whammy. They need more antioxidants than ever to protect their vision, yet they absorb fewer of them from their diet. And let's not ignore lifestyle. Seniors are more likely to take multiple medications, many of which have side effects that impact vision or nutrient absorption. Common drugs for blood pressure, cholesterol, and diabetes can interfere with vitamin metabolism or increase oxidative stress. Add in reduced physical activity, less exposure to natural daylight, and sleep disruptions, and you've created an environment where vision is almost guaranteed to decline unless something changes. Here's the hopeful part. Vulnerability is not destiny. Seniors may be at higher risk, but they also have the most to gain by making strategic changes. When you introduce antioxidant-rich fruit before bed, you're addressing multiple age-related weaknesses at once. You're compensating for weaker mitochondria by neutralizing excess free radicals. You're backing up your declining antioxidant enzymes with external reinforcements. You're reducing inflammation through polyphenols and fiber. And by choosing whole fruits rather than supplements, you're improving nutrient absorption. Because the natural matrix of fruit, fiber, water, and phytochemicals enhances uptake in the gut. Let me make this practical. Imagine two 70-year-olds. Both are dealing with some degree of mitochondrial decline, weaker defenses, and chronic inflammation. One continues to snack on processed foods, white bread, and sugary desserts at night. The other makes a conscious choice to eat a handful of blueberries or a slice of papaya before bed. Both go to sleep. During the night, one person's eyes face an onslaught of oxidative damage with little support. The other's eyes are flooded with anthocyanins, carotenoids, and vitamin C right when the retina is regenerating. Fast forward 5 years. One is struggling to see the television clearly, while the other is still reading books without extra lighting. That's the difference in risk playing out in real life. The medical establishment likes to say that vision loss is just aging, but let's call that what it is, an excuse. It's easier to prescribe stronger glasses or schedule surgery than to teach seniors about nutrition and repair cycles. But the science is clear. Aging makes you more vulnerable. Yes, but it also makes you more responsive to interventions. That means the right food at the right time can create dramatic improvements even late in life. So when we talk about seniors being at higher risk, we're not trying to frighten anyone. We're shining a light on the biology that makes older adults more susceptible. And we're showing that within that vulnerability lies an opportunity. Because if you understand how the deck is stacked, you can play the game differently. You can stop thinking of failing vision as inevitable and start seeing it as preventable, even reversible, if you work with your biology instead of against it. That's the promise of nutrient-dense fruit eaten before bed. It doesn't just fill your stomach, it fills the gaps left by aging. And for seniors, that's not just an advantage, that's a lifeline. For decades, we've been taught that medicine comes in a bottle. You've got high blood pressure? There's a pill for that. Your cholesterol's too high? Another pill. Eyesight failing? Well, maybe stronger glasses, maybe surgery down the road. And in the meantime, just accept it. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The body was never designed to run on pharmaceuticals. Don't get me wrong, modern medicine has its place. Antibiotics save lives. Surgery saves lives. But when it comes to chronic conditions, the slow-burning, age-related diseases that rob you of your vision, your independence, and your vitality, drugs don't cure. They patch, they cover up symptoms, and often they create side effects that lead to more prescriptions. That's not a cure, that's management. Now contrast that with food, real food, whole food, food that humans have consumed for millennia, long before the pharmaceutical industry was even a glimmer in someone's eye. Food doesn't just give you calories, it gives you information. Every bite of fruit, every mouthful of vegetables, every sip of nutrient-rich broth carries signals that talk directly to your cells. They switch genes on and off, they activate repair systems, and they restore balance. In the case of your eyes, food provides the very building blocks your photoreceptors need to regenerate, the antioxidants your retina needs to neutralize free radicals, and the anti-inflammatory compounds your capillaries need to stay open and flexible. That's not management. That's healing. The idea of food as medicine is not just poetic, it's biochemical. Take anthocyanins in blueberries. These compounds don't just float around in your bloodstream, they actually integrate into retinal tissue, strengthen collagen, and enhance blood flow to the optic nerve. Or consider lutein and zeaxanthin from papaya or kiwi. These carotenoids concentrate in the macula and act like internal sunglasses, filtering high-energy blue light that would otherwise burn holes in your vision. When you eat these foods, you are literally medicating your eyes without a prescription pad, without a warning label, and without the cascade of side effects that often accompany pharmaceutical drugs. But why don't we hear this from our doctors? The reason is simple. Food isn't patentable. There's no billion-dollar incentive to tell you that a handful of cherries before bed can improve night vision. There's no profit in saying that kiwi, rich in vitamin C and antioxidants, can help delay cataracts. The medical system has been built around intervention, not prevention. And yet, prevention rooted in food offers the only real long-term solution. Let's go deeper. The pharmacology of food is extraordinary. Polyphenols, flavonoids, carotenoids, these aren't just nice to have. They are signaling molecules that affect pathways in your body as potently as drugs, sometimes more so. Polyphenols activate your NRF2 pathway, which boosts your own antioxidant defenses. Carotenoids lodge in your retina, where they physically absorb light energy and protect delicate tissue. Vitamin C regenerates other antioxidants after they're spent, creating a recycling system that extends their lifespan. In every way, these compounds behave like medicine because they are medicine. The difference is they come packaged in a piece of fruit, with fiber to slow absorption, water to hydrate, and a synergy of compounds that no pharmaceutical can replicate. And here's the part that really matters for seniors. Food as medicine is not just about prevention, it's about repair. The human body has remarkable regenerative capacity, even late in life. Your retina rebuilds its photoreceptor segments every single night. Your lens proteins are constantly being turned over. Your optic nerve adapts to changes in blood flow. All of these processes require raw materials. If you don't provide them, repair is incomplete and vision declines. But if you do provide them, if you eat nutrient-dense fruit before bed, you are literally giving your body the tools it needs to restore itself. No drug can do that. Drugs can alter chemistry, but only food provides construction materials. I often say, you can't out-medicate a bad diet. You can't swallow enough pills to make up for decades of nutrient deficiency. But you can eat your way back to health, one choice at a time. For seniors, that might mean swapping a nighttime cookie for a bowl of cherries or trading a sugary dessert for a slice of papaya. Small changes, but profoundly different outcomes. Because while the cookie drives blood sugar spikes, inflammation, and oxidative stress, the fruit drives antioxidant defense, repair, and resilience. Same bedtime ritual, completely opposite biochemical effects. Let me give you a picture. Imagine two paths. On one path, a senior continues with the standard Western diet: processed food, late-night snacks of refined carbs, little to no fresh produce. Their vision blurs, they add reading glasses. Then bifocals, cataracts form. Surgery follows, independence slips away. On the other path, a senior embraces food as medicine. They focus on nutrient-dense fruits and vegetables, especially at night when their body repairs. They maintain sharper vision into their 70s, 80s, even 90s. They read, they drive, they recognize faces without strain. That's not science fiction. That's what happens when biology is supplied with the fuel it needs. So when I tell you that food is medicine, understand this, it's not a slogan, it's the truth written into your cells. Drugs are designed to manipulate, food is designed to heal. And the fruit you choose to eat before bed is not just dessert, it's prescription-grade nutrition, tailored by evolution, delivered without side effects, and timed to coincide with your body's most critical repair cycle. The tragedy is that our culture has forgotten this. We've outsourced health to the pharmacy, when the pharmacy was always supposed to be the kitchen. But the good news is, it's never too late to remember, especially for seniors who stand to gain the most from making this shift. Because food as medicine doesn't just add years to your life, it adds life to your years. And in the case of your eyes, it keeps the world vivid, sharp, and beautiful for as long as you're here to see it. In biology, timing is everything. Your body is not a machine that runs at the same pace 24 hours a day. It's a symphony, and the conductor is your circadian rhythm, the internal clock that governs when you sleep, when you wake, when you digest, and even when your cells repair themselves. The tragedy is that most people live completely out of sync with this rhythm. They eat at the wrong times, they sleep too little, and then they wonder why their health declines. When it comes to vision, the timing of what you eat may be just as important as what you eat. Let's think about what happens to your eyes during the day. From the moment you open them in the morning, your retina is under assault. Light pours in, photons slam into your photoreceptors, and electrical signals race to your brain. That process creates free radicals, little sparks of reactive oxygen that accumulate like soot in a chimney. On top of that, blood sugar fluctuations, environmental toxins, and UV exposure add to the burden. By the end of the day, your eyes are exhausted. They've taken in billions of light signals and produced mountains of oxidative waste. So when does the cleanup happen? Not during the day. During the day, you're using your vision constantly and there's no time for repair. The repair crew doesn't clock in until night. That's when melatonin rises, the glymphatic system flushes waste, and the retina begins to rebuild its photoreceptor segments. This is why sleep is non-negotiable for eye health. But sleep alone is not enough. If the raw materials for repair are missing, your eyes are like a construction crew with no lumber, no nails, no tools. The workers show up, but they can't do the job. Here's where timing matters. If you load up on nutrient-dense fruit before bed, you're essentially delivering supplies right when the crew needs them. Vitamin C, anthocyanins, carotenoids, they're circulating in your bloodstream as your retina initiates repair. That's precision delivery. If you eat the same fruit at lunch, you'll still get benefits, but the timing won't align with the repair cycle. By the time your retina is ready for regeneration, those nutrients are already metabolized, excreted, or stored. That's like sending building materials to a job site a week early. They'll get rained on, stolen, or wasted. But send them at night, just before construction begins, and they're put to immediate use. This is not just theory. We know that certain nutrients follow circadian rhythms in absorption and utilization. For example, melatonin itself is a powerful antioxidant that peaks at night. When you eat antioxidant-rich fruit before bed, you're not just adding external antioxidants, you're synergizing with your body's own chemistry. Melatonin and anthocyanins together reduce oxidative stress in the retina more effectively than either one alone. That's timing in action. There's also the issue of blood sugar. Seniors often struggle with glucose control. Eating processed snacks or sugary desserts at night spikes insulin, disrupts sleep, and increases inflammation, all of which impair eye repair. By contrast, eating whole fruit before bed provides a modest, controlled release of natural sugars buffered by fiber, along with a payload of antioxidants. The result? A gentle rise in blood glucose that fuels repair without derailing it, coupled with nutrients that directly support regeneration. That's the difference between pouring gasoline on a fire and giving your body just enough kindling to keep the engine humming. Let me give you an analogy. Imagine two seniors going to bed. One eats a slice of cake before lights out. The other eats a bowl of cherries. The cake spikes blood sugar, raises insulin, suppresses melatonin, and floods the body with inflammation. The cherries, on the other hand, provide anthocyanins that integrate into retinal tissue, melatonin precursors that enhance sleep quality, and vitamin C that protects the lens. Both sleep for 7 hours, but one wakes up with eyes that are more stressed than the night before, while the other wakes up with eyes that are subtly stronger. Repeat that night after night, year after year, and the outcomes diverge dramatically. Now, skeptics will say, but isn't fruit just sugar? That's the reductionist trap. Yes, fruit contains natural sugars, but it also contains fiber, water, and an arsenal of phytonutrients that completely change how your body processes it. When you eat a piece of fruit before bed, your liver handles the sugars gradually without the damaging spikes that processed desserts create. Meanwhile, the antioxidants go straight to work, especially in tissues like the retina that are under constant oxidative stress. The sugar phobia misses the forest for the trees. The truth is, the timing and the matrix matter more than the sugar alone. And here's the bigger point. Eating fruit before bed isn't just about eye health. It's about respecting your body's clock. When you sync your behavior with your biology, everything works better. Sleep is deeper, repair is stronger, inflammation is lower. Seniors in particular have a lot to gain from this because their circadian rhythms are often already disrupted. Hormonal shifts, medications, and lifestyle changes make it harder for the internal clock to stay on track. A small ritual, choosing the right fruit before bed, anchors the body to its natural rhythm and amplifies repair. So yes, timing matters. It matters in medicine when drugs are administered. Their effects differ based on time of day. It matters in nutrition. When you eat determines whether food becomes fuel or fat. And it matters in vision, whether your retina gets its reinforcements during the repair cycle or misses the window altogether. The choice is simple but profound. You can eat nutrient-poor snacks at night, robbing your body of the chance to repair, or you can eat nutrient-dense fruit, aligning yourself with the rhythm of biology. One path accelerates decline, the other supports resilience. Seniors, more than anyone else, stand to benefit from this alignment. Because at this stage of life, every night of repair counts. So the next time you're reaching for a late-night bite, remember this: your eyes are about to clock in for their hardest shift of the day. Will you send them into battle empty-handed, or will you arm them with the tools they need to win? That's not just nutrition. That's timing. And timing in biology is everything.